Hi, hello everybody.
Hello.
Good.
Hi,
So,
Chrissy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Virtual Happy Hour 3.0, the great country presentation series across the world. Today it's my big honor to introduce you the country of Trinidad and Tobago by Chrissy Boudou. So the stage is yours and cherish the time and learn a lot about Trinidad and Tobago.
well, thank you guys very much for the opportunity and thank you for allowing me to join and tell you about my country. So, do you guys see the presentation? Yes?
We
Okay.
saw
Yes,
it.
we can.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. What are you doing, Nikki?
I don't know. I got disconnected and I didn't see anything anymore. So I'm back.
Well, thank you for coming back. So, Trinidad and Tobago. Here's a little bit about me. I was born in December 12, 1980. I'm married over 17 years. I was born in Trinidad, raised in New York, and I'm currently living in Florida. I've been working for Lufthansa Technique for over 17 years in total. I have my associate's degree in social science and humanity, and I love to spend time with my family and friends cooking, going to the beach and to the pool, and reading motivational books.
So is it a coincidence that you are married 17 years and you're working for Lufthansa 17 years?
I guess I got lucky that year for having a good job and having a good husband.
I can confirm he doesn't work for Lufthansa Technique.
we actually met before. His parents are from Trinidad as well, and my mom know his mom. It wasn't arranged marriage or anything like that, but we ended up liking each other and getting married afterwards. So I wanted to let you know about the coat of arms because the coat of arms is important to the history. Most of the time, when people find out about Trinidad, they always ask about the birds and what does it symbolize. And I actually have a tattoo of the scarlet ibis and the wild poinsettia, which is the flower of Trinidad. And I wanted to let you know how important it is. Like even in the slogan, it says, "Together we aspire, together we achieve," which speaks for itself and promotes harmony and diversity for national achievement. So it makes you feel like you belong. It's important with Trinidad with the unity. We're always together. We're always partying together. We're always, no matter where we are, you see, I invited my whole family, so so we're always together. And I just wanted to let you know what the national bird of Trinidad is, and it's actually incorporated in the coat of arms. Trinidad and Tobago. I wanted to let you know also like the different ethnicity. Everybody always asks, how come I'm Indian looking and most people that are from Trinidad, they're either African descent or they don't look like me. I recently did an ancestry.com kind of an analyst of where I was from, and I'm 100% East Indian. So and today, I forgot to mention, today is the 31st, August 31st. So it is the Independence Day for Trinidad. The colony was to be granted independence on August 31st. So that's why I chose today being our presentation day for Trinidad.
Oh, happy Independence Day.
Well, thank you very
Happy
much.
Independence Day.
The economy, we have a large extent on oil, natural gas industry, and agriculture. Trinidad is one of like the richest islands in the Caribbean. Our religions, it's very diverse as well too. And honestly, I was raised Muslim. I was born Hindu. I think that it's like different religion makes you kind of sort of who you are. But now I believe just in God. I don't belong to any particular religion. The weather, we're close to South America, and it's like I think Maria had drew a bridge right across from Venezuela to Trinidad.
Yes.
And and I always remember that because we are really close to Venezuela, and it's a really nice atmosphere. It's hot. There's different seasons, but not as much seasons as there is in America. There's the rainy season and the dry season. So pick your time of when you like to go.
And what is the reason behind that the largest population is coming from East India?
Most East Indians were brought over from India because they were like traded for slavery. They were indentured servants, so they did like mostly like book work, and they brought us over just the same way they brought the Africans over, and the majority was East Indians.
It's the slavery triangle, actually, between Europe, Africa, and Central America, and the Portuguese brought a lot of East Indians over, wasn't it?
The national flag, the flag also represents things. It represents the wealth of the land and the dedication of the people, the sea surrounding the island, the purity of the country's aspiration and equality. And the red, the warmth and energy of the sun, the vitality of the land, and the courage and friendliness of its people. I wanted to incorporate this because I wanted to let you guys know how much it means in everything that we do, our flag, our coat of arms, everything. Here are some facts about Trinidad. They're two very diverse islands, one epic inviting place. It's very big on tourism. It's home of carnival, calypso, steel pan, and limbo and dancing. So everything was originated in Trinidad. If everybody tells you differently, you know where it's from now. We're very social people. We love festivals and celebration. And it's a country of many different cultures. As you could see, we have the Indians, we have the Africans, so we brought all of those into unity. It's extremely scenic. We love the outdoor diving, hiking, beaches, waterfalls. Trinidad is an oil-rich country and home to more than 90% of the population. Port of Spain, the capital, the main city of the country, is surrounded by green hills. It's such a beautiful place to be. Trinidad is the home of the best chocolate. I always thought it was Germany, but apparently it's Trinidad.
and do you have some debate with the Swiss people about the best chocolate, or is it that you have the very best in the world?
Well, it's actually grown on our land, so regardless to where the chocolate is from, I think it's also on perspective too, right? I think it's best in the world, but everybody's perspective is different.
Actually, I bet the Swiss also use chocolate from Trinidad Tobago to make theirs.
There you go. That makes more sense. Thank you for that.
Because it won't grow actually in Switzerland. It wouldn't grow there anyway. It's not hot enough, not humid enough.
So we need the climate, and it comes from the ground. So it's basically it originated from Trinidad, and then they mix it up, and then I guess they make it their own, huh?
Yeah, that's how they do.
Trinidad loves to party. The carnival, it takes place annually Monday and Tuesday in February. And as you know, it's a lot of people, and with everything that's going on with COVID, I don't know what's going to happen next year. Hopefully by then we'll have everything the vaccine and everything would be back to normal, if there is a normal. There are volcanoes and self-replenishing asphalt lake and amazing bird reserves. In the first picture I put, everybody's in the asphalt. I've never been there before. I've never done this. This is something that I would like to do in the future, and hopefully we'll be able to do it in the future. But as you can see, look how many people. There's no social distancing there, even with the steel pan and the music. Again, we're always so close to each other. When we're eating street food, everything, carnival, everything we do we're always together. Tobago. So it's Tobago. Trinidad is the bigger island, and Tobago is like the sister island. So it's a smaller island, and it's northeast of Trinidad. Tobago is home of the oldest protected rainforest in the Western Hemisphere. I didn't even know that. I just realized that. And it's really like an untouched area because some of the places is like, wow, so different. And home to the greatest beach. Whether you're in Trinidad or Tobago, they always have the best beach. We always make like the top list of the best beaches to go.
Next to Brazil. Okay, bye.
So here are some pictures. Adventure Farm and Eco Reserve. These are some of the tourism places. Some of them are open now, but I don't know like how many people are allowed and how they go about doing the tours. But tourism is a very big part of Trinidad. And we have like preserves where they take care of the leatherback turtle. There's also a tourism area for that too, but only it's for limited amount of people. And the Nylon Bay, that's like a magical place to be. I've been there before. It's really nice. And it doesn't have that much water, so it's either like up to your waist in water. Maracas Bay, that's where you get the shock and bake. And I think Pitch Lake Natural Asphalt, that's where I told you I would like to go in the future, but I've never been. And there's always beautiful waterfalls to see, but you have to hike to get there. And I'm not really a hiking girl, as you know, my hobbies consist of shopping and reading, not hiking. And the food, my favorite part. Doubles is like a breakfast thing. It has like curried chickpeas. And actually, it's one of our most celebrated things. It's a street food as well, too. And this is my second favorite, roti dal and curried potatoes with stewed chicken. We're very big on roti, and I think that comes from our East Indian side as well, too. See, again, you have roti, curry chicken with roti, and this is how they wrap it. And this is when you go on to Maracas Beach, and you get the shark and bake while you enjoy the view. Chicken pilau, they said that this is the national dish, but let me tell you, it's like a mix of all different flavors, from coconut milk to peas to beans to rice to everything all in one.
I'm hungry.
And corn soup. Corn soup is like the remedy for after you finish partying and carnival and drinking. It's the recovery soup, corn soup. Kalaloo is like spinach minced with like pumpkin and okra. It's like a blend, like a soup, but it's not a soup, and you can eat it over rice. And usually it's made of crab. And I wanted to take a picture of this pepper over here because pepper is a big part of our culture as well. They have a saying that we put pepper sauce on everything, and I actually have pepper sauce in my purse.
And you know that Christian
She
is
does.
I think the next cooking class of the Virtual Happy Hour. Maybe you should also attend this cooking class.
Well, apparently she only cooks chicken. Chicken and seafood according to her slide here. And the pepper sauce, I mean, that's hilarious. That you guys really carry that around everywhere.
I tried to taste the food first before I put the pepper sauce on it, but the
Because
pepper
it's
sauce
not
just
hot.
makes
Yeah, I've seen Korean guys also doing this actually. But there's enough vegan stuff there. I mean, dal, curried potatoes.
I forgot about Nikki. We have a lot more vegetarian
Called
as
out
well.
things. No, it's fine. If I feel like eating a chicken pilau or curried potato stewed chicken, I could just make my own plant-based chicken. That's fine.
Oh, so then maybe I could send you the recipe.
A good
And
suggestion.
then we could do another challenge, and we cook it together, and you tell me if it's good. You see, Christian and Dania, we have the next VHH cooking challenge in the next few weeks.
Very
that
good.
sounds
Very
good.
But now
That is
you're
very
committing.
interesting.
Now, Chrissy, you're committing to cooking with me.
I will cook always with you. No problem with that.
And Chrissy, by the way, your camera is off. We don't see you at all.
Oh, I think after I put on the presentation, then maybe you could see me.
Okay, good. Your entire family, of course.
Yes. And I just have my two sisters on the phone. That's Vicky and Jennifer.
How many sisters you have?
I have a total of 3 older sisters. I'm the fourth girl.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
I have a younger brother. My mom and my dad was very busy.
Wow, what are they doing all the time, your parents?
Apparently having kids.
Well, there's a name for that in Europe. They are good Catholics. But
Oh, that's what they are. I wanted to also let you guys know, even though I don't live in Trinidad, I did a lot of research and found out like how are they living. I also spoke to my cousins and my husband's cousins to find out because they actually live in Trinidad right now. So I went on the internet and I found all of these interesting facts about COVID and the impacts that it has. Of course, it's been increasing, and because of the increase that we see even up until August, they shut down the socializing. So there's closure of beaches, places of worship, as well as a ban on dining at restaurants and bars. And that's crazy because bars is like a big thing. When I arrive in Trinidad, the first thing my uncle wants to do is take us to have a beer at the bar. It's like a Trini thing, I guess. And have a doubles too. They have no more than 5 people will be able to gather at a time, and schools will no longer reopen in September as planned. And they're trying to have it mandatory that everyone wears a mask, but right now it's not mandatory. There's still restrictions, there's still a stay-at-home order, and there's still the social distancing. And right now, I think everybody is practicing it. And there's people that have been in Trinidad for like that live in America, but has been in Trinidad for since Carnival, since February. And now we're in August, so hopefully they get home soon.
Are there any, say, protests against the measures from the government, or is the entire, say, society in line with what has been somehow put in place?
Well, of course, there's always going to be like the majority of people that listen, and then there's going to be a minority of people that don't listen. But I think they are very strict when it comes to following rules and things like that in Trinidad. So, of course, there's numbers to call, to report, to tell them that there are more than 5 people and let them know what's happening. But I'm not sure how they're enforcing it, really.
But it's not that people say that's a fake and the government wants to do something and blah, blah, blah. It's more that people understand it's really something which is serious and it's better to follow the rules.
Yes,
I'm just asking because here in Germany, we have some people who believe it's a fake and the government is so strict and so on. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think that they believe that it's real and they want to follow the laws and the rules that we're getting. But a lot of people do it. They do say that this is fake. You should. What's the big deal about wearing the mask and things like that? But of course, you're going to have 1 or 2 people. But the majority is following the rules, right? And we also have curfew. I mean, in America, we have curfew. I think our curfew right now is at 10 o'clock. I'm not sure if Trinidad right now is having curfew as well. But knowing that, there's bans on restaurants and bars, then only like the essential people will be working. So as far as like protests, we haven't heard anything major recently. We have a lot of freedom here. And I think from third world countries, they're not really, they don't see like their freedom as like how we see it, especially a freedom of speech.
Yes.
So Trinidad now with COVID. Trinidad and Tobago, we are experiencing an economic downturn from the external collapse of commodities prices of their main revenue sources, natural gas and oil, as tension between Russia and Saudi Arabia contributed to a fall in prices. I think this was even before COVID, this was going on. And right now, with every economy, I think everybody is struggling because not everybody is driving as much as they used to. They don't really need as much gas. So this is a contributor of what's happening right now with COVID. Within the Caribbean, one of the main economic impacts of COVID-19 will be a hit to the tourism industry, with reductions in tourism and travel as well as the cruise industry. Because Trinidad has so many beautiful sights to see and so much friendly faces and so much good food and carnival and music and so much talent in Trinidad as well too, the tourism industry is suffering. And I think that's around the world right now, not just in Trinidad. But hopefully...
So if you're belonging so much or depending so much from tourism, you have your own airline also to bring people in, or all the airlines are flying to your island because you are a top destination to fly to?
Well, we have different destinations. I should have included that in the presentation. We actually have BWI that was originated in Trinidad as well too. We have American flying in. Spirit Airlines used to fly in as well. So it depends on the volume. So there wasn't a lot of volume because even JetBlue was trying to fly into Trinidad, but at different routes, different times. So not all airlines decided to keep their routes to Trinidad. So our main two airlines right now is American Airlines and BWIA. So
And
that's
your
Caribbean
government
Airlines.
has closed the borders, but they're not allowing to let in passengers from certain destinations where COVID is not an issue.
I think that they stopped in general, only like domestically within the Caribbean they're allowing, but I'm not sure exactly. I know right now for Europe and for America, they're not allowing us in. So to summarize, I guess the new normal right now, we all have the same practices as well. Washing your hands, keeping all surfaces sanitized, wearing your mask, coughing in tissues or into your elbow, avoid touching your face, staying at home when you're ill, keeping your distance from others. And they're adapting to the new normal. Right now, people of Trinidad are used to very social environment. Now we keep our distance 6 feet. We love street food. I think now we have to follow guidelines of wearing a mask and sanitizing more. We have so many beautiful sights to see and places to explore, but now we have to stay at home and explore later. We mediate and pray, and now we must do it from our homes. We love big parties and have human interaction. Now we socialize at home with limited people. We love to dance and have a good time, carefree. Now we're more careful.
But I would call it the new not normal, isn't it?
Well, I actually got this from their site itself, the Health and Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. So this is what they're telling everybody that we have to follow.
So the general acceptance is pretty high. Does it mean really people understand and try to adapt as much as possible?
Yes, I think so right now. They're adapting just like how all of us around the world are, and just taking it one day at a time, right?
I would say that was the most efficient, the quickest presentation we ever had here in this virtual happy hour.
Yeah, you speed through the whole thing.
I remember we have Zintra in the call. Zintra had 36 letters, and I think it went 2 hours. I think Mauritius also went very long.
Sorry.
No, but that's good. So just giving Fatima, because Fatima is doing Portugal soon.
It's fair, Daniel. I did Mauritius and Montenegro for about an hour and a half.
But honestly, I mean, the outcome is I would love to travel there. So
exactly.
Yeah, it sounds very friendly.
So how do you feel now? You were very nervous in the beginning.
I'm actually happy because I get to show you guys where I'm from and to let you know there's a lot of nice things going on. Even though there are impacts of COVID going on, there's hope for us still, to go visit, to listen to the music, to see the people, the friendly places, to go see the birds, to see the turtles. There's so much things to see.
And before we started the presentation, we were just talking about Cambridge Analytica. So I recommend everybody who has Netflix to watch this documentary about Cambridge Analytica, because I got to know about Trinidad Tobago and that half of the population is East Indian rooted via this documentary, because it was explaining how the last election in Trinidad and Tobago were influenced by Cambridge Analytica. Quite interesting documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say it's the first time I actually meet someone from Trinidad and Tobago. It's it's interesting that we have a common history, even if I'm from different parts of the world, because I'm coming from Coronian family, and I think you used to be our colony for a while.
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago actually belonged to so many different people before, and when it became independent, it was so liberating, you know? That's why we celebrate so much.
I can understand that. It's just interesting that I've never met anyone from there. And on 15th century, people got across these vast distances and met each other, whatever the circumstances were.
Well, I'm happy to be the first Trinidadian you've met before.
Glad to.
And I can confirm that in the past, or when people meet you, right, in the office, and the first guess, if somebody is supposed to guess where you're from, they all say India.
Yes. Even when I went to Germany and I stayed for a while, everyone would always think that I'm from India, except for when I started to speak, because I have, I guess, an American accent.
Yeah.
And are you also now making the Onam and so on, or is this not now the time you are also having the Onam?
I think.
That's only special. Okay, yeah. Our family is Kerala, and they have now the Onam and so on. So then, good. Yeah. So we still have not seen your sisters. Where are your sisters?
So that's Vicky and Jennifer. I don't know. They don't want to show themselves. They wanted to support me, and I showed them the presentation because being that I wasn't.
No, that's not possible to be here in this game and then not showing up. That's not possible.
Vicky, Jennifer.
Trinidad Tobago are socializing and so on. So
they're shy, apparently, more shy than me, and they're my older sisters. Vicky, don't leave me standing here. You got to speak up. They wanted to support me, and I told them how nervous I was. So I was so happy and thrilled that they were able to join. And now I'm putting them on the spot. Look at that.
You did such a good job. You don't need to be nervous.
No. I like it very much. But by the way, normally people have to send the dishes they present. You have forgotten to do that. So next time, please send us some dishes from
some yummy samples so we can try your dishes.
Okay, yes, next time.
I thought we're going to cook them, so we don't need any samples.
Thank you. You're drinking and you remember that. I need to drink more. Maybe I'll remember. So we'll make a vegetarian version.
Today we have such a minority of male attendees. It's such a big female attendee. It's great. It's really great.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because we brought up 4 sisters.
My whole family.
Daniel, and I have to apologize. You will be all by yourself in 2 minutes because I have to leave. Lucky you.
I'm used to that with the aviation women panel. I'm used to it, so no problem.
You enjoy it. You can admit it.
Of course, you enjoys it.
So Daniel, are you gonna cook with us on Friday? And Kristen, you're cooking, but Daniel, are you cooking too?
I have registered.
Okay. We're making.
By the way, the seasoning I found in an Chinese store. You can get it there. Yeah.
Vegan crab cakes.
But the thing is, I think that powder is so unhealthy.
No, I don't. Well, then you need to take a picture and show me because
I will do before.
Something else than just spices. It's spices thrown together, but it's used a lot to eat and the Old Bay crab, which is we call it like this. It's in the where do we eat Old Bay crab a lot? Like in Delaware area. I don't know, Maria. Maybe you know that.
Yeah, Maria is so shy today.
No, I'm shy. Yes.
Yeah, like that blue crab. And when people do crabs, and they use this as seasoning. You know, they cook it with that, or they rub it with them afterwards. I don't know.
Fish taste actually, because we don't have any fishy in
Well,
that.
maybe it's because you don't get the same. But here, nothing else than spices thrown mixed together.
Okay.
Christian, 2 minutes are over now.
I have to leave. Daniel, enjoy yourself with the beautiful ladies, and was a great presentation. Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank you very much for joining.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So Fatima, you're ready for your Portugal presentation now?
Yes, well, I've been ready. The problem here is sometimes I would like to be like our presentation today. It was so focused and so straightforward. It was great. I liked it very much from Trinidad and Tobago because we got all the information and it was fast and interesting. So I hope I can be a little bit like that, but probably not. I normally intend to speak a little bit more and be longer, but I will try to shorten it and just
you do what you like to do, but don't mention anything about football and soccer. Yeah, next.
I understand. I know. I've put already that slide there.
No. That's not allowed.
It is allowed because.
No, don't mention Ronaldo and something about Euro and so on. That's not possible.
Okay, I hide it.
See, and that's the thing. I wanted to talk about cricket and I wanted to talk about the sports and stuff like that. But I wanted to know also like what was interesting. And I already had so much stuff with COVID. So I should have joined more meetings prior to this one.
I'm going to join
Portugal.
You can still talk. You still have
even more difficult for you, I think, because then you didn't know what to pick and what to choose about the presentation. So I think you did fine.
But it was great, Chrissy.
What's the biggest sport in Trinidad and Tobago? Is it cricket or what's the biggest sport?
It's cricket. They like cricket. They like football, which is what we call soccer in America. So I didn't want to get into it because if you ask me any soccer or football question, I'm like, oh no, what do I say?
It's football. It's football, obviously.
So yes, they're very big. And actually, Germany and Trinidad had a match a couple of years ago for the World Cup, and I was so proud. And all of the people that knew I was Trinidadian, they told us there was like 5 group of people from Trinidad that was supporting, and it was so funny because everybody else was German, and it was a big deal.
Trinidad, when was it?
I can't remember which year it was, but it was like at least 8 years ago or more.
Oh, okay.
It was called the Soca Warriors. That's what they were called, the Soca Warriors. And then we had the first Black Miss Universe. Miss Universe was the first Black to come from Trinidad and Tobago. So that was a big deal as well, too. So next time I should put the people. But I'm looking forward to see everybody else's presentation. I'm so happy that I got the opportunity.
There were so many already. Well, I haven't been in all of them as well, but they're so different presentations and different ways of showing the countries and what is important and not what is not so important. It's quite difficult. It's very difficult, I think. The first one was Germany. I didn't attend.
That was Daniel.
Yeah, but it was when I'm now looking back, I have to say all other presentations were so creative, so passionate, and so special. And I'm really amazed about the creativity of all the presenters. And we were talking about it, Chrissy, before. You were very nervous and so on. And every presenter is feeling such a high responsibility for his own country. But at the end, it's always great to see what people are presenting there. And I'm really amazed, and I learned so many things about these virtual happy hours 3.0.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm very happy to be part of the community now, and I'm going to tell my sisters if they would ever speak up. They do speak, you know.
Are they younger or older than you?
They're my older sisters.
Don't put them on the spot.
Vicky, please.
They don't have to show their faces, that they could just speak, but they said no.
But Maria is today also very shy. It's very uncommon, Maria. I've never met you like this.
I know it's something's wrong with me today. Yes.
Is it contagious?
No, but I was just quiet, letting Chrissy talk. I mean, I've known Chrissy for 10 years, and I was really interested in what she wanted to say and to show us about Trinidad, and I really liked her presentation, so I didn't interrupt her. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Isintra is also not switching on camera. Today is not the new normal, I would say.
But I have technical issues. Remember, I have to join from the phone and then the computer, so sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, and for me also something's wrong with internet speed today. If I switch camera, I have used it in other meetings, but the normal work meetings, you can't hear things. So unfortunately, I can try to switch it on, but unfortunately, I think I will be not able to hear much.
So how is?
I think that today there is some issue as well.
Because good to see you, Isintra. So because we just had now this weekend here in Berlin and very strange rally and so on. How is the situation in your countries? Are people somehow accepting what's going on in terms of COVID and the measures in your country, or are they also freaking out and believing this is all a fake and the measures are too strict and all this is a big thing from some elites and so on? So how is the local situation in your countries?
Well, I just visited Latvia last week.
Yeah.
Because my mom and dad and everything, and given the fact that I think it's one of the safest places now on earth because we have like no ill people whatsoever. The only like one case I think we got a couple of weeks back, but they were travelers in the country, not the ones that are actually there. So there's no real restraining whatever. You don't have to wear a mask. There are signs asking to people keep distances, but we Latvians, we just keep distances that's our normal. There was this joke about Latvians that now the terrible 2-meter distance restriction is over and we can go back to our usual 5 meters. So it's kind of was interesting because you didn't have to do anything there. I kept on looking for my mask when I was entering transportation or buildings or whatever, and then only then I realized that I don't have to use it. There's no real reason to do so. The only place where you have to wear a mask is an airport. That's it. The rest of the country is free. So it was nice, mushroom picking and things that all the Latvians enjoy. So fun.
And how is it in Portugal, Fatima?
Well, in Portugal, we have some issues now because we were in the right track because everybody did the right confinement and everybody was doing the quarantine and everything was fine. Suddenly, I think because also of the tourism, it increased a little bit more. And now we are having really big issues with the government and the President of the Republic, but that's because of an event. It's like it's a festival, but they consider it a political event. At the beginning, it happens every year. So they said that it's in the Constitution and in the law. They allow to do this kind of events, but it's not, it's not a festival, and it is a festival, but under the image of something that is political because it's being organized by the Communist Party. And so that is a big problem because it's going to be next week. There are no measures. There were about 33,000 people. Now it's 16,000. And, it's everybody is now doing lots of protests, and some of the shops are going to be closed. They are saying we are not going to open anything because we are not, we have been during 3 months with no business at all, and now we are not going to take the risk and close everything again because some bunch of guys don't know what to do and they have no respect for the rest of the country and for the rest of the people. So it's really very bad, and I'm really upset with that because it's not good. It's not good. I'm sure this is going to increase a lot of infections again. I'm sure. You cannot control 16,000 people in one festival, music festival. It's impossible.
On the other hand, we have currently a situation in Germany that people are infected, but on the other hand, we don't have many worse cases. So that's now the debate. We have a lot of more infections, but not what was in March. And then the explanation was in March were more the older people, where now in summer times are the younger people who are not having these difficult, let's say, infection journeys. Maybe that might be also the case in Portugal.
In Portugal too, yes. We have many. Now the range of age is about 40 to 49 years old, and now we are having lots of young people being infected as well. And so next week, the school is going to start. We don't know how it's going to be. In Germany, it's already started. So is it being, controlled? Is it a big issue or not? You have already the school there, right? The school in Germany.
Yeah, of course. The debate is you have to wear a mask in the room of the school or not. And then some federal states say you don't have to wear a mask in the schoolroom, but outside in the
building
of the school. And then others say no, you have to wear it even in the room, but not outside. And that's where some people say like this and this. On the other hand, that's always the debate of a federal state.
Yeah, that's right. Every state has a different policy.
But on the other hand, I was just talking with another business friend. I think no matter how you take it, let's say you are living in one of the northern federal states where they don't have any infections. And would it be clever to apply a strict rule because in Bavaria they have a lot of infections? So they say, why should I have a rule which is necessary for Bavaria because they have a high level of infections, but in my state we don't have that. So that's the pro of the federal system. On the other hand, some people take it negatively and say, yeah, we don't have one unified approach. We have 16 different systems and so on. So it's how you take it. Either you like it or you don't like it. But that's how we are governed. And how is it in Montenegro and in Mauritius?
Well, in Mauritius it's okay because closed borders, just like Ginger said, and they will remain closed until the October. They didn't have any new cases since May. So now the question is, what are they doing with the economy? Because they are heavily depending on tourism. And apparently the last notification from there is that the borders remain closed until the end of October there, but the locals told me that it's probably not going to be the last one, that they don't expect anything to open until December. For me, it's slightly peculiar again because it's a summer season. This is a high peak touristic season for Mauritius, so this is going to further affect everything going on there. But on the other side, there was this issue with this ship and oil leakage and all other problems, so that probably kind of weighed in on decision. In Montenegro, we were doing just fine until the June, and then people not taking care or not following the rules made a real big problem. So from maybe 200 cases in first let's say peak period in March and April, we came to like 3,000 in couple of weeks, and then it plateaued, and now we are back to maybe 700. Our borders are pretty much open. We are waiting for European Union to open the borders towards us as well. And we opened the borders maybe 2 weeks ago for the countries in surrounding, because in surroundings there were much bigger problems than for Montenegro. So primarily I'm talking about Serbia, about Bosnia, and now Croatia, because I think everybody is also from European Union was following quite closely what's going on in Croatia, being one of the touristical hotspots now. So for the moment it's okay, but it's gonna get more complicated because in the meanwhile, of course, we had elections. So should I tell you that not many people really followed the regulation there. So in 2 weeks we'll see what the result really was, together with the quite surprising result of the elections themselves. So that's the situation on both sides. We'll have another peak in Montenegro. So for the
And
moment, I don't know how I'm going to reach Mauritius or when, to be honest. Unbelievable, really.
Maria, you are following Colombia?
Yes, they are supposed to open the country this week. Everybody's super, but I don't know what exactly it means. I think they will have some restrictions, like the airports, for example. They're started to fly the airlines, but only local flights. I think international towards the end of the month. And but I guess people are very anxious. Some want to go out, some will continue with like self quarantine measures. I don't know what's going to happen, because we were doing really, really good, and a couple of months ago the government decided to do this day where people could buy things without taxes, and everybody went to the streets, and this was the origin of the peak, right? Everybody got together, and this was really a bad thing, and all the cases started to increase from that moment, showing that we have no discipline. So I don't know if something really changed in the people head, I don't know, in their mindset, so that when the country is open, they will really behave, take care, keep social distance, and so on. So I don't know. Where I'm expecting the numbers to increase, at least at the beginning, yes.
And Nikki, you follow Brazil?
No, not really. I know that those people that I know, they're acting normally, but I wouldn't be able to tell if right now the numbers are high or not, or like higher than normal. I know that the president sucks. So right now, no idea.
And how is it in the United States, the country of the free?
And that's the thing. Here, it's so different, because when I look around me, everything looks peachy, but then you hear in the news that we have such bad numbers, and but everything is still like, mask mandatory when you're out, and schools are still home, like on online base. I know from our own company, which I told you guys last week, that like numbers in Oklahoma rising, like cases, and I don't know when Florida. I mean, Florida is planning to open everything up again slowly, like next week, was it? Or this week? I don't know, Maria, if you heard it in the news that the restaurants will not open up, but they will. Yeah, they will ease up again, because right now it's a lot of only delivery and takeout. So they said we would open up again, but you're only allowed to have a certain maximum, like on people or guests and space, and I have no idea how that's gonna work. I think it also depends from state to state how serious people take it, because it also a little is dependent on the cultures that live in each state. And some people are just very diligent or following the rules, and some others, they just ignore, like like there's no tomorrow, let's go out and party. And I think stuff like 4th of July and all these election gatherings that happened in the last 2 months, that also didn't necessarily help the whole social distancing.
Mm.
And our office is still closed as well, and we don't even know, excuse me, when we're going to be back. So we've been working from home since March, I would say, end of March.
Yeah.
And no sight of when we're going to return, because we also had a few cases in our office, if I wasn't mistaken, some in our warehouse. So to be safe, especially with people who have children or elderly parents and things like that, I mean, being at home, the only thing I usually do is just go out for groceries, and that's like twice a week. Well, not twice a week, every 2 weeks.
But what is your summary in terms of working from home? Because I remember when there was not COVID, people were always saying, "Oh, working from home, that would be cool," and so on. Now it's there. It's maybe a new standard. But is it how everybody was expecting it and desiring it, or is it having maybe also some challenges which nobody was foreseeing?
Well, for me, our salary got cut, I think 60%. We were only receiving 60%, and then we were getting unemployment. So being at home, they didn't cut it because we were home. I think they cut it because for budget reasoning. And then we started back again at 80%, but the workload isn't as much because we're not flying as much. So working from home is nice, yeah, but I would like the social interaction that we had because I'm usually an on-site person as well. I deal day to day with my colleagues in Lufthansa in our office, so I miss the human interaction. But as far as like safety, I understand the reasons why. And with the budgeting, I understand why we have to also take like pay cuts and things like that. And the capacity of work that we have currently isn't a lot because we're not flying. We don't have as much revenue passengers as we used to before. So I'm just grateful to even have a job, you know?
Yeah, I also think it's actually going well. Like I'm sure a lot of departments, they were worrying about how will it work with the whole home office, but now it's part of the new normal. They see that it does work, you know? And I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, instead of growing space, like physical space, when you're like in a growth or something, I would believe that the company will think twice about, okay, could we maybe, be way more flexible when it comes to working in offices or working from home, or divide your time, that it's also smart. But right now it's working.
I miss the people. It does work, but like I live by myself, and at the beginning it was really nice. You shower when you want, and you can sleep in, and it's very flexible. But at the end, I would like maybe a balance wouldn't be bad. Like a couple of days at home, a couple of days in the office. But for me, like personally, I think I'm affected. That's what I say.
The socializing and also the sharing, I think it's totally affected by that.
Yeah, I miss office as well, but for us it's a good news. From tomorrow we are going back to the office. So.
Oh, okay.
So it's a first day that we're kind of at least trying to go back to the office and such. We are still limited with the ones that are alone in the office can go there. There's strict rules imposed and things like that, like wearing masks if you go outside of your cabinet and talk to people. And the big meetings has to be over the Google Meets or whatever. The office is back online. Being before that, we were strictly told to sit home and wait it out.
Yeah, we are preparing like the office to be ready whenever we come back, like separating space or limiting how many people can be in which room or which meeting room or kitchen, and also blocking off some desk areas where it's too crowded. But I believe that the company is also aware that, for example, as long as the social life outside is not working properly, especially schools, and mothers or parents that have kids in school, as long as there's only the online option, that it also gives the parents more flexibility in being able to work and watch their kids or do the online school, because otherwise that would be bad. Imagine if we all have to mandatorily come back to work, and the social life outside, like the schools or the daycares, are not open. So I wouldn't know how that's gonna work out,
I actually read an article, I think in Forbes, there was a analytical article regarding how people feel about working from home, and percentage-wise, like most of like there was about I think 15 or 11% who were feeling all right and would like to continue, but the rest at least wanted some kind of balance, like a bit more in the office and a bit more home, and as you said, flexibility, but they don't want to completely cut out the interactions that they have with an actual people in an actual workplace.
Yeah, I think the issue is here. We had this in our Virtual Ops 2020 discussion last week, the new not normal, that currently everybody feels forced to be working from home. It's not a voluntary decision. And if it's a voluntary decision and you can decide on your own mix, 3 days home, 2 days office, 3 days office, 2 days home, I think then people feel much more empowered to have their own responsibility about this mix of working from home and being in the office. And there is somehow a third party who is currently deciding on the working from home. It's either the company or the government or who else. And I think in the future, if people have the voluntary decision on, then I think there's more acceptance, and then they feel under control of their own destiny. Maybe that's the reason why people are not so happy working from home and not being capable to see their colleagues.
Maybe. I actually posted the link to the Forbes article if some of you would like to read it.
Thank you.
Oh, I saw it. Thank you.
So, Chrissy, thank you very much. I hope you feel empowered now. I hope you are not regretting to have volunteered to present Trinidad Tobago. Please work on your sisters. Next time, hopefully they switch on camera and show up. And I learned a lot, and I have to get to Trinidad Tobago. It's still not on the list of countries I visited. So hopefully I can come and visit your home country.
Well, thank you. And then to let you know about my sisters, they were both in and out of meetings. So they joined me like briefly. So they told me to tell you guys that they apologize, but they couldn't join like physically. I mean, on the camera or voice, because they were also in other meetings as well. So they just wanted to see me present. So sorry for putting them on the spot too.
Maybe you ask them whether they want to make the part 2 presentation of Trinidad and Tobago and present something more about their country.
I'll tell them that, they'll love it. Yes. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much, Nikki, for telling me about it as well.
Of course. Thank you all. Have a great Monday.
Also the next steps here in the chat notes, and looking forward to have you on the Virtual Happy Hours. You can make your own bookings anytime, and would be great to having you with us sometime soon again. Thank you very much. Stay healthy and safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.